So let's get started on the eyes. As you can see, I do have my brows done, and I just prime my eyelids with a concealer. I just use the Colourpop concealer, and I just set it with a little bit of translucent powder, and that is going to be all to prime my eyes. And I'm really excited to dip into this new Colourpop palette. This is the Colourpop Orange You Glad palette. It's part of their series of palettes that they've been releasing lately that are color coordinated or color themed, and they're so beautiful, guys. You're getting 9 eyeshadows, and there's a mix of formulas. There's mattes, metallics, even a pressed glitter here in the middle. And guys, they're just stunning. Let's just take a second to admire these shades because they're just beautiful. And I'm sorry if my lighting keeps changing. It is a little bit of a sunny and cloudy day. This weather has been a bit crazy in Toronto, so don't mind if my lighting gets a little bit wonky. Just stay with me. I'm gonna try to make sure that you guys can see everything clearly, but if my lighting changes a bit, it's just because it's sunny and cloudy today, so hopefully you guys won't mind that. They also released a few brushes, part of their orange collection. These come in a set, and they're really nice blending brushes. There's a little pencil brush, there is a packer brush, and I'm really excited to actually try these out today. I haven't tried any Colourpop brushes yet, so I'm really excited to try these out. So this little blending brush, which is called the E2 brush, is perfect for the crease, so I'm just going to use this one first. I'm going to dip into the shade Creamsicle, which is this really nice neutral orangey crease color. It's beautiful. So I can just see right away that the shadows are a little bit more looser, so there will be a little bit of fallout, but we'll see how that looks. I don't have any foundation on, so I'll be able to clean my under eyes before I finish the rest of my face, which is really good if you're working with shadows that do have fallout. It's nice to just do your eyes first so it won't be messy and you won't ruin your whole face makeup. So I'm just taking that beautiful soft orange shade in the crease, and we're just gonna blend that out. Just really packing in that orangey shade because I just want to make sure that I'm getting all the full pigmentation, and I'm really kind of packing in that crease shade. Okay, so I have that Creamsicle shade smoked out on the crease, and it actually is a little bit more bright than it looks in the pan, which is interesting. It's more of like a bright orange shade, and in the pan you can kind of tell it looks a little bit more muted, so it does really apply a little bit more bright. So next I'm going to go into this more deep orange shade, which is called Rise and Grind, and I'm just taking it onto this Sigma E25 blending brush, which is a little bit thinner and more fine than the other Colourpop brush. You can see that this shade is a little bit brighter. It's much more neon. There's definitely more fallout with these shadows I'm finding. Maybe the bright orange in them just creates for a softer shadow. So just definitely keep that in mind. I would try to do your eyeshadow first if you are using this palette, and then clean it up and then do your foundation, because you will get fallout. The pigmentation though is unreal. Like, you guys can just see that. It's like very pigmented, very bright. It's beautiful. Okay, so we have that more bright orange shade now in the crease. Next, I'm gonna go into this darker shade called Ya Peel Me. This is the darkest shade in the palette. I'm just gonna go in with this same Sigma E25 brush that we used for that brighter orangey shade, and I'm gonna go into this brown one. As you can see, it's the darkest shade in the palette. So this is like a really nice orangey brown shade. It's really nice that they added that nice deep brown shade because it just completes the palette in my opinion. So I'm just gonna go into that, and I think I'm going to create more of a halo eye. So I'm gonna use this darker shade to darken the inner and outer corners of my eyes. You can see I'm just bringing that shadow right on the inner corner. And also on the outer corner. We're kind of gonna create like a halo look. actually really happy that I decided to do my eyeshadow first, because as you can see, I do have quite a bit of fallout. So these shadows seem to be really soft. They are super pigmented, but they're really, really soft, and you will get fallout with these. So that's definitely something to think about. I mean, for the price, you are getting great quality. The shadows are just really soft shadows. So that darker brown shade was a little bit darker. It did deepen up the inner and outer corners a little bit, but it's not super, super dark. So my eyes look very bright right now, but we'll make them look a little bit more subdued, hopefully when this look is all finished. And I think I want to do a cut crease in the middle, so kind of like just to go with the whole halo look. So for the cut crease, I'm going to use this Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is just their white concealer, and it's in the shade Fair 00. I really love this concealer when I'm doing a cut crease, because I find that it's just a great canvas for any colors, and it's just a great concealer for cut creases. The consistency, everything's amazing. And I'm just going to take some of that onto this little flat angled brush. And then I'm going to place that concealer right in the middle, just to create a little bit of a defined cut crease in the middle of my eye. So instead of starting it like in the inner corner, I'm just going to leave that defined cut crease more in the middle. Cleaning that up a little bit and defining it a little bit more, blending that out still. Okay, so we have that cut crease just roughly in the middle over there. And now for the lid shade, I'm gonna go into this beautiful peachy shade. This is like a peachy champagne. It's called Squeeze Me, and it's really gorgeous. And I'm just going into that with this Morphe JH41 flat brush. I didn't use a primer or anything. I'm just gonna go right into that metallic shade. We're just gonna see how it looks on the lid. So it is super pigmented. You don't really need any kind of primer with this shadow because it's very pigmented. So as you can see, that little concealer cut crease that we placed there, it really helps us guide that metallic shadow, and it really makes it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I have that beautiful metallic-y peachy shade on the lid. It's really pretty, and of course you could just leave it at that, but I'm really drawn to this gorgeous pressed glitter in the middle here. I just knew that I had to use it as soon as I saw this palette. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna add that pressed glitter on the middle of my lid, and this is called Clementine, which is a really cute name. And it's just a really gorgeous pressed glitter. It's like iridescent with some orangey specks in there. I'm just gonna use this Morphe JH41 brush, the same brush that we used for the metallic shadow. I'm just gonna get right into that. So as you can see, it's a little bit more of a subtle glitter. It's still really beautiful and glittery, but it's not like a crazy glitter that can be overwhelming. So this is actually really nice to have more of a subdued glitter. And you don't really need a primer with these pressed glitters because they already come kind of built in with the primer, I guess you can say. So that is really amazing. And I really love this glitter. It's so pretty. Okay, so we have that pressed glitter now on the lid. So I'm going to go back into this darker orangey brown shade called Ya Peel Me, and I'm just gonna take that and just darken the inner and outer corners a bit more, just to really define that now that we have our lid colors on. Okay, so we have that darker shade now blended on the inner and outer corners, and you can see there is quite a bit of fallout, guys. So definitely keep that in mind if you're gonna use this palette. I would definitely recommend doing your eyeshadow first and then working on your face. What I like to do is just take a makeup removing wipe or just like a wet wipe, just clean off that fallout. It really makes sure everything is nice and clean for when you do your concealer and everything. Okay, so we wiped off all of that fallout and now we're nice and clean and we're ready to start on the face. So I'm gonna first prime my T-zone area just with this Bare Minerals. This is their Bare Minerals Blemish Rescue Skin Clearing Anti-Redness Mattifying Primer. So this primer is really good. I actually brought it with me to Italy and it's really nice because it is green, which is really good for hiding any redness. And it's also mattifying because in the summertime, we can all get quite oily. So it's really nice to have a little bit of a mattifying primer. And I have to go with the theme of trying some new makeup products. So I was actually invited to a Tarte Cosmetics lunch the other day with my sister Lisa. We went together and it was really nice to meet some of the people who work at Tarte and just to see some of their new products. This is their Rainforest of the Sea line, which is clean at Sephora, which is amazing. And they gave us a bunch of products to try out. So I was super excited to try these new products. This is their foundation that I've never tried before. So it's like a first impressions as well. This is their water foundation and it's a medium to full coverage. This is in the shade Medium Tan Sand. And as you can see, the foundation comes out like this. So it's just like a little squeeze tube here, which is really nice. And I think I'm going to be applying it with this Real Technique sponge. I like this sponge for foundation because it has like kind of a flattened edge here. So it's really nice to pack in a foundation. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of that foundation onto the sponge. So the sponge has been washed and it's damp. So that's very important when you're using a beauty sponge. You want it to be damp. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of foundation at a time. So the girl at the lunch actually shade matched me for this foundation, which is really nice because I am a little bit more tan now. My face is always whiter. As you can see, my chest is quite dark compared to my face. So she shade matched me to match everything for the summertime. And I think this shade is actually really nice. So I don't usually go to these kinds of events. It was actually really nice to kind of go meet a bunch of people and just get out there a little bit because I'm a little bit of an introvert. So me and my sister were like, let's just go, let's get out of our comfort zones, let's meet new people. And it was really nice to go to the Tarte event and they were really sweet. And it was really nice and I'm obsessed actually with this foundation already. I could just tell that I love it because it is like a satin finish. It's quite full coverage. It's definitely medium and you can build it up. This foundation is so pretty. It just literally looks like skin and it blends in beautiful. They say it's a water foundation, so that's kind of telling. It really does look natural, but it gives you that coverage that I love. Okay guys, so the foundation is on. So I really love it so far. It literally went on beautifully. It's like a satin matte almost finish and it's just beautiful. It's medium to full coverage and I really think that the shade also matches really nicely. So she really did a good job shade matching me and I'm really obsessed with this foundation so far and I hope that it's also long lasting. I'll try to fill you guys in when I post this video in the description box. I'll let you guys know if it was long lasting or not. So stay tuned for that. And now for concealer, I'm gonna go in with this concealer I've actually been obsessed with. It's not new, but I've been obsessed with it these past couple months. So this is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Beige. So I'm just gonna take some of that and place it under my eyes. I'm also gonna drag it on the outer corner just to clean up that line and define it. I'm just gonna blend that out with this Real Techniques Damp Beauty Blender. Okay, now to set my under eyes, I'm going to use this RCMA No Color Translucent Setting Powder. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that onto this makeup puff and set my under eyes. This e.l.f. concealer does dry pretty matte, so you don't need too much under eye setting powder, I find. So just a little bit goes a long way. I was gonna set my whole face with just some makeup setting powder, but I think I'm just gonna see how this foundation plays on its own. So I'm just gonna jump right into bronzer. So I'm going to bronze with this beautiful Nars palette. This is their Motu Tane face palette, and it has a blush, it has a bronzer, and it has a highlighter. They do have a more orange palette with a more orange blush and a darker highlight. I have this pinky one, so I'm not going to use the blush because with orange eyes, I don't really like to do pink blush. I kind of like to keep the colors similar, so I'm going to use more of an orangey blush, but I am going to use the bronzer part of this palette. So I'm just going to use my favorite bronzing brush. This is the Morphe JH02 brush. It's really big and fluffy, and I love it for bronzing. So I'm just going to go into that bronzer over there, and I'm just going to bronze the parts of my face that I want to just give more dimension to. So it's like my cheekbones, the top of my forehead, under my chin. This bronzer is really nice because it really blends out beautifully and it looks pretty natural. Like it just gives you that beautiful natural bronzy look. Okay, I don't really have any new blushes that I wanted to try out, so I think I am going to use a shadow part of this Colourpop palette and just kind of use that as a blush, which I like to do sometimes. Especially I find it looks really nice with the eyes because it really does tie everything together. So I'm going to go in with this Morphe JH06 brush, and I think I'm gonna go into the shade Rise and Grind. I'm gonna try to get into that as much as I can. Just place that on the apples of my cheeks. So that shade is really nice. It's like warming up the face a bit, tying in with the eyes. So to make sure it's all blended out. Also gonna add a little bit to the tip of my nose. If anything doesn't look like it's blending properly, I like to go back in with my bronzer brush, just kind of diffuse that blush a little bit. I'm just wiping off the under eye setting powder and kind of just blending everything out so it looks a little bit more flawless. Okay, so I just placed a little bit of concealer on the tip and bridge of my nose, and I just blended that out a little bit just to kind of create a base for the highlighter because I do like to highlight my nose. So before we do that though, I'm just gonna finish up these eyes by just doing the lower lash line, and I'm gonna go into that same shade we used in the crease in the beginning, the shade called Creamsicle. And I'm gonna blend that Creamsicle shade out on the lower lash line with this Morphe JH40 brush. Okay, now going into this darker shade called Ya Peel Me, I'm using this Colourpop E10 pencil brush, and I'm just going to use that darker shade to deepen the under eyes a little bit. Okay, so before we highlight the face, I'm gonna go in with this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea 4-in-1 setting mist, and I like to do this before I apply highlighter because I find that it really makes the highlighter pop and stick to the face better. And this is actually a little sample size that I got from the Tarte lunch, so I'm excited to see how it is. It kind of smells like oranges, which is really funny because our look is orange, so I'm getting like a total orange vibe right now. That was not planned, but that smells so good. I love it. It feels really nice too. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight using this gorgeous highlighter from this Nars palette. They do have the names of the shades on the back of the palette, and I see that the bronzer is called Laguna, and that I know is a super popular bronzer from them, and you can buy it separately, so that's good to know. This highlighter is called Macatee or Macatea, I'm not sure, I think it's just Macatee. It is absolutely stunning, and I really do hope that you could buy this separately. I'm not sure. If you can't, then Nars, please sell this highlighter separately because it is stunning, absolutely stunning. So I'll show you guys how it looks on the face. Do you guys see that? It just gives you like this glow, and it's like not too golden, it's not too white, it's just like the perfect champagne shade. I feel like this would look amazing on a lot of skin tones. Just like obsessed. Like, I don't know, this has been like my new favorite highlighter. It's just so pretty. A little bit to the cupid's bow, the chin, a little bit on the forehead. And then with this smaller Morphe JH42 brush, I'm gonna highlight my nose. Just grabbing a little bit of that onto the bridge and blending it out with my pinky. Just a little bit on the tip. And I'm also gonna take that same highlighter and just put it on the inner corners of my eyes. just to really make my eyes pop even more. Okay, so we are almost done. I'm just going to line my waterline with this Nars Cosmetics High Pigment Longwear eyeliner. This is in the shade Mambo, and it's a beautiful rich brown shade. And I actually really love these high pigment eyeliners. They're literally so buttery, creamy, and like super pigmented. I'm just gonna place that brown shade just in the waterline, just to deepen it up a little bit. So now for mascara, I'm going to use this Givenchy. This is their Volume Disturbia mascara. This is just their black one. It's called Black Disturbia 01. And I actually really love this mascara. So I'm gonna just place a little bit of that. And then of course, you know me, I have to add my false lashes. Of course, you don't have to. I just really love them. I'm gonna put some mascara on my top and bottom lashes. I'm going to pop on a pair of lashes that I actually got from eBay. I know that I always wear these eBay lashes, but I'm just obsessed with them, and they're so cheap. They're like $3.99 or $2.99 Canadian. So I will definitely link these down below, and I'm just gonna pop them on, and I'll be right back to finish off the look with the lips. Okay, so the lashes are on. I decided to go with a more mellow pair. I will link the pair that I used in the description box. And now to finish off the look, let's do the lips. So first I'm going to line my lips with this lip liner. This is from L'Oreal, and it is their L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Lip Liner, and it's in the shade 114 Matting Call. It's a really nice soft brown shade. Kind of just bringing it a little bit further in, just blending it in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of this lipstick from Tarte. This is their Color Splash lipstick in the shade Colada, and it's a beautiful neutral brown shade, kind of the shade of my lip liner. And I'm just gonna pat that in. I don't want too much. A really pretty shade. And I do have a ton of beautiful glosses from Tarte that I received from the lunch, but I actually want to use this Colourpop one that was part of their orange collection, because I just think that it's such a unique gloss, and it's just so pretty, and it goes with our orangey look that we have going on. So I think it'll look really nice on top of this nice nude lip that we have. This is their So Juicy Plumping Gloss in the shade Va Va Voom. It's almost like a jelly orangey shade with a little bit of gold specks inside, so it's super pretty. And it does have that little bit of the peppermint tingle to it because it is a plumping gloss. It smells really nice, like peppermint. I'm just gonna use my finger and blend it out of it. I actually think that that's such a cool look. It gives you like that nude lip look, but also has that little bit of the orangey from the gloss that just ties in with our whole orange look, and I think it's so pretty. These Colourpop glosses are super pigmented. As you can see, it really does add that shine, and I just love glosses. I've been obsessed with gloss this past year, so I'm really happy to see glosses kind of making a comeback, because before it was all about the matte lips, and I still do love matte lips, but glossy lips, I don't know, this whole year I've just been really gravitating towards them. So I really loved the way this look turned out. I really enjoyed using all of those fun new products. The Colourpop palette was beautiful. My only complaint was that it did have quite a bit of fallout, but that's not a problem for someone like myself, because I do like to do my eyeshadows first before anything else. So it's really simple to just wipe off any fallout that you have with a wet wipe, and you're ready to go. But I do think for, I believe it's $12 US, I think that's amazing. You're getting 9 beautiful shadows, nice plastic sturdy palette, and a mirror included, so that's actually great. And it has a bunch of finishes. I really love the pressed glitter that we used on the lid. I think it's just beautiful. The orange shades are just so fun, and they remind me of summer, and I just love them. So I would love to know what you guys think. I also really love this Tarte foundation. I actually didn't even set it with anything, and it just is really nice. It doesn't feel like sticky or heavy. It just settled into a nice satin finish, and I think that it looks quite natural. It's not cakey, it's not heavy, it hasn't settled into any fine lines. So I really love that foundation. Like I said before, I will put something in the description just to tell you guys how long it lasted and if it was quite long lasting and any other thoughts I have on it. And as you guys saw, that beautiful palette from Nars, I really love the Laguna bronzer, and that highlighter is just like stunning, guys. Honestly, I hope Nars can release that highlighter separately. I don't think that they do have it sold separately, but they honestly should, because it's beautiful. It's literally one of my favorite highlighters. Also, the blush from that palette's beautiful too. I've used it in the past. I didn't use it in this video because it was more pinky, and I actually do like the way that eyeshadow turned out as a blush from the palette, from the Colourpop palette. I think it actually looked really beautiful, and it just really ties in nicely with the eyes. Also, the lipstick from Tarte was stunning. As you guys saw, it was a really nice matte lipstick, and that gloss from Colourpop I'm actually obsessed with. It looks like super orange when you see it by itself, but as you can see, if you layer it on top of other lipsticks, it just creates this beautiful look, and it's like so glossy. I just think that those products are gorgeous. I'm actually obsessed with everything that I used today on my face. I would love to know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. So please, guys, let me know any feedback you guys have, any looks that you want to see from me, or any other product reviews that you would like. I would love to know your thoughts. Please keep them coming because it really gives me some inspiration to see what you guys want to see, and I love just interacting with you guys. So guys, thank you once again for watching this video. If you're not already, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!